What's up, YouTube? This is Lauren back with my Delicious Love and Life, here with my summer plant tour for you all. So first up, there's some pothos in a terracotta pot, and I have a crystal and some eucalyptus paired with it on the shelf. This is dried eucalyptus. Next, I have a watermelon peperomia. This is the first plant that started the addiction. It's one of my favorite. It has these watermelon shaped leaves and it's just gorgeous. Now, if you've seen Super Mario World, this reminds me of all of that. This is my bunny ear cactus. So this thing is just really fun to look at, and like most cactuses, it doesn't require much watering. Next up is the rubber plant. This is a baby rubber plant, easy to care for, and I love how shiny it is. So like the other plant, this is also a rubber plant, but it's variegated, meaning it has some cream and white all over it. I like to call this my army guy because he is camoed out. One thing about me is I am learning to love Hoya. This thing was so little when I first got it, and it has branched out and grown beautifully. So it's definitely becoming one of my faves. String of pearls. I've killed like 3 of these things. This is actually the 4th one. Once I figured it out, it needs bright light. So I have it in the south facing window. I water it when it's dry. Treat it like a succulent and you will be a-okay. Pilea peperomia. I call this my wild child. If you can notice all the directions he's growing in. It has been a learning curve for this guy because he has been yellowing at the bottom quite often. I found out that he likes filtered water. So he's one of the only plants that I have that I water with filtered water. So I love things that look pretty cool. This is a donkey tail, otherwise known as Burrow's tail. This is a succulent, so I put it in direct sun and only water when it's completely dry. If anybody has this plant, let me know. I need all the tips. I put it some of everywhere, in the sun, away from the sun, water it filtered, water it fertilized. It won't grow, but yet it won't die. So it's just here. Dracaena, you guys. So if you can have fave, this will be my fave. This is Koopa, and he is a Peperomia prostrata. I've been treating Koopa like a succulent after almost killing him, and he is thriving, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, definitely my favorite plant. By now you should notice that there's quite the trend in my house. That's right, I love peperomia. They're one of my favorite plants. This girl is a peperomia hope, and she is starting to trail, which I love. I can't wait to see how big she gets. Here we have a satin pothos. And I just fell in love with the printed leaves and the texture of the leaf as well. One of my faves. This here is a succulent. It's called a jade plant. And she's starting to get a little leggy, so that tells me I have her a little too far away from the window. Nonetheless, she's still cute. Here we have a Pilea glauca. This is in the peperomia family as well. This thing grows like a weed and trails all over the place. So I just cut it back a few weeks ago, and she's already getting some legs on her. So I know you see that name down there. Not even going to try to butcher it. But what I do know is it is a peperomia, and we know that I love them. And who doesn't love a heart-shaped leaf? It's so beautiful. So this is my purple oxalis, and I usually don't do colored plants in the house. I love the green, but it was just something about this plant that I could not pass up. It's definitely an eye catcher in the room. If you peek back there, you'll see I have another watermelon peperonia in the background because what? I'm obsessed. So we have a spider plant here, and spider plants are great for air purification in the home. And it doesn't matter what I do with this thing, he thrives. He's been growing like a weed since I got him. Also, there are 2 peperomia on this little bar cart as well. I don't know exactly what type that one in the corner is, but I got it from IKEA, and he has been pushing out new leaves every once in a blue moon. Philodendron Micans sitting over here with a rose quartz crystal, and she is trailing like a dream. One of my favorite things in the room to look at. I've shared cuttings with friends because she's so fruitful. This was actually a gift from a friend, Greenhouse Girl 94 on Instagram. Greenhouse Girl is full of tips and tricks when it comes to plants, so go follow her. Lemon lime prayer plants are so gorgeous. I love them because they actually move, and I think it's always a nice thing when you can actually see a plant move naturally. It reminds us that these are indeed living things. And right beside it I have a dumb cane and a peperomia frost. The peperomia frost is actually flowering and has been flowering since I bought it home, so I'm excited about that. Right next to it is our ZZ plant, and if you're afraid that you don't have a green thumb, this is the plant for you. It takes neglect very well. Not that you should neglect your plants, but if you do, this guy is very forgiving. African violets are so beautiful when they're in bloom, and for some reason mine will not bloom. They're growing but they're not blooming, so I have to figure that part out. They like to stay moist, and they like filtered sun. I have them in self-watering pots, so I don't have to worry about keeping them moist at all times. You just fill that with water about 1/3 of the way, and they do well just sitting in the window. This peace lily is so gorgeous. I literally just let it be. I will water it when the leaves start to droop, but that's about it. So this apparently is another wild child. He's fairly new to the house, so I don't know how he will do in the long run, but so far I only water him when he is dry, and he's doing pretty well. Last but definitely not least, the star of the room, the birds of paradise. Isn't this thing gorgeous, y'all? So there you have it, a tour of all the plants in my home. I hope you guys enjoy. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. You guys be great. Bye.